Hey ho, folkies! I hope you're all well. I thought I'd take a moment to record a video about the discussion board participation. This assignment is pretty easy, but there's a few parameters simply because we've found in the past that if people don't follow the parameters, then they spend hours on this stuff and go down little rabbit holes and things. So yeah, we try to give you some guidelines so that things are much easier for you for this task. The general gist of it, though, is that you read what the task is each week, which will go up on a weekly basis for you. You come up with a little post and then you post it on the discussion board. It's very, very easy. I've actually provided you with some guidelines online about how to do that. If you don't know how to do a discussion board, it's a little bit easier for you again. The one thing I will say, though, is that Milo can be really cantankerous. So when you are drafting it up, typing it up, make sure that you type it into a Word document first, because Milo likes to refresh every 10 minutes and just disappear your work off the screen in front of you and make your life a living hell. So yeah, let's avoid that, shall we? All right, so the basic parameters of this one is that you put up one post per week and you need a minimum total posts of 10. So there's probably a couple of weeks where you don't need to do all of that much. Weeks 1 and 13 are not assessed. And I think there's a gap in the study schedule as well where you don't need to do anything. The weighting for this particular one is 20% of your overall grade for HSP108. And it just says contribute no more than 200 words per week to each weekly discussion forum. Monitor, read, research topics, and post no more than 200 weekly. Now, that's really, really key, because if you do post more than that, say 1,000 words, you seriously are exploiting yourselves. So let's just keep it nice and short and simple, because you don't want to be spending time on stuff that is genuinely wasted time, and it will be wasted. So just keep it nice, short, sharp, and succinct. We will provide you some feedback as quickly as we can, usually on a weekly basis, to let you know how you're going. So the reason we do this particular assignment is not so much about the content. It's not about you being exactly right in the content, okay? It's about writing. It's about getting a little bit of practice of putting together nicely structured paragraphs, in addition to just learning a bit more about the topic that we've put up. It's supposed to help you think more about your assignments that you do and stuff like that. And of course, help you learn and practice the skills that you'll need to write them, most importantly. So please, we will give you feedback on the content, but for this task, you don't have to be completely obsessed about that, because basically, if you're talking about the weekend barbecue that you had, it's probably going to get some sort of comment about the content, right? But if you're talking about the general gist of whatever it is that you're supposed to be focusing on, you should be okay. It's not like an assignment where we expect high-level, well-developed stuff which is informed by research literature. I wanted to give some basic pointers about what not to do on discussion boards. Having been doing this job now for about 12 years, I've had more than enough experience to know the things that you need to avoid. Please avoid rude, hurtful, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, racist, or other disparaging comments about vulnerable and marginalised people. This is guaranteed to get some feedback from me, because I will not stand for it in my units. And it is something I will raise with the head of school if I need to. Make sure that you respect other people's ideas and perspectives. Now, you don't necessarily have to agree with these perspectives. In fact, some of the best conversations come out of disagreement. But please be respectful. Don't abuse people online because you're not there in the room with them. It's just basic common decency to think about how harmful your words might be when you're putting it into the thing that is the internet. Try and refrain from dominating the communications through lots and lots of posts. You don't need to respond to every single post that people have. It's far more important that you read a few of them to get a look at what other people have done, and then just put up your own ideas. Be careful in how you use wit, humour and sarcasm and irony, because sometimes people can misinterpret this. And although jokes are great, they can be a little bit misplaced sometimes, especially when we're talking about sensitive topics. So just bear that in mind before you put any of that sort of stuff in. It's really hard when we haven't got those voice tone and body language cues that we do on a day-to-day basis when we're talking to people face-to-face. It's just that easy. And please note that if there are any posts like this on the discussion board that we don't deem appropriate, we will definitely delete them. So if you're selling sunglasses, and I shit you not, this has happened, on a discussion board, we will definitely delete it, okay? Just a heads up about that one. Pretty sure you guys are onto this stuff by now, though. All right, so some very basic tips for discussing online. Make sure you indicate the subject of your message in the appropriate text box in the message window. Create single subject messages wherever possible. Be polite, address others by name. And most importantly, make your messages easy to read. Keep your messages as brief to the point as possible. Use short paragraphs and short sentences. And structure it with bullet points and stuff like that if that's going to make it a little bit easier. Having said that, don't use bullet points every week, because remember what I said before, this is about getting up your writing skills, right? And you can't really do that if you just keep writing in dot points. So give us a few paragraphs here and there, hey? And that is it. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch, but I'm hoping that's answered everything you might need some help with. I hope you have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you all soon online. See you later.